Oh, good afternoon, everybody. How's things? It seems like 2 minutes since I was last on Facebook doing a video, and it was yesterday. If you didn't catch it, it's on Crafting Together with All Brands Facebook page, and I did a bit of a bookmark, and I've been having a look at what some of you have done with your versions. They're fabulous. But here we go today on tile number 286. My goodness me. You know, I almost typed in on the date today, it says 2022. You know, sometimes you miss a 0 and go to 9, 22, and you think, I wonder what number tile we were doing then. Oh my goodness me. But yeah, oh, I know it's a miserable day, Sue, but you know what? We've got an hour-ish of tangling away, haven't we? And of course, oh, bright pink. I thought I'd use one of the blush tiles, and I've got a bit of a ink splodge there as well. So just to sort of brighten the day. You don't have to have that. You can just draw it straight onto a tile. You can use a bright tile if you feel like it. Whatever goes for you, that's fine. So what do I have today then? I've got my regular pen, pencil, tortillon. I've got coloured pencils and pastels lying around as well. But we'll see how far we get, shall we? I've got a little one in mind. Bit of not a challenge as such, but you know, see where it goes. This one actually could go a little bit different. You could do it on a tag tile, or you could go on a macro and things. So a bit of a challenge for the weekend maybe. All right, see how you get on then. So I'm coming in with my pencil to start with, and yeah, I've got an ink splodge on the tile there, but I'm going to completely ignore it and just go in with whatever it is I'm doing today. So let's have a look. I'm going to start. I want a bit of a curve just to give me a starting point. Again, I'm going to press on a little bit more because I want you to see it, whereas you would go quite lightly, okay? Bit of a curve, all right? I've left myself some space either side because that's what I'm going to be working either side there. And I want a smaller one around here. So it's not going to be a full circle, maybe sort of there. Okay, there we go. We can come back to that one in a short while. All right. Okay, doesn't matter which way round. I'm going to sort of work from here, I think, down this way. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to come from this point and I'm going to draw in or sort of sketch in. So working from the point, I'm going to come down and go a little bit wider to there. Okay. Oh, Carol, sending our best. Oh, hope you're okay. Right, so we've got that. So I've gone from a point all the way around and I've created this little shape here. And I'm going to do the same on this one. So from the point, just sketch it in at the moment. This is a little bit smaller there. They're not touching up. Okay. So whilst actually no, I'm going to start on this big one. Here we go. Let's come on round now from the top there. Actually, just a little bit further on. Let's go a bit bigger there. See, just from there, I'm going to come around just really lightly and a bit of a curve, and I'm going to stop so far out, just a bit like a huge moon or a large banana. And then from here, see with this point here, let's take it sort of back round. It's a bit of a curve, so it looks a bit like a large leaf. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same here, so from a little bit further away, bring it round. And then sort of a bit of a leaf shape. Okay, got a curve going on there. So then at this point you can make decisions on if you want to change things, see? Don't want to rub too much there. Okay, so we've got like two little leaf shapes, okay? So just before we come in with a pen, I just want to have a look at the, oh, a second, there we go. This line here, see where we've done this one? And what I want to do is I'm going to come over and then under. All right, so I'm going to make it a bit wider. See, round over and under. I'm going to have it going off the end. And then if I turn it round, see, I've got this one here. Again, I'm going to just bring this over. Now mine's quite short there, so I'm just going to have it coming over. You see, just like that. So I've got something to work to. Okay. Oh, hi Joe. Yeah, thank you. I think I know what the message is, and I think the answer will probably be it's going to be in the post today. if that was the message. We've tried to sort of do postage in between postal strikes and things today, this week, so hopefully things are going to get there. All right, I'm going to come in with a pen now, and where I've just drawn those lines, I'm just going to bring that in with a pen. So there, you see I drew over there, and then I've got this sort of stem or center point or vein or whatever we want to call it going up there. Okay. And then this one, again, you see where I come around there, and then we're under there. And again, I'm going to draw that sort of vein in. Okay, now yours might be a little bit straighter, or the shape might be a little bit different, that's fine. But we're sort of aiming for something a bit like that. So I'm going to come in now and just going to rub out those pencil lines in the middle. I don't want them to get in the way of whatever else we're going to be doing. There you go. Okay, all right, so we've got sort of two little leaves with these little veins sort of going in there. Okay. So working in then, I'm going to start with the big one, and at the top point here I'm going to come around part way, and then I'm going to come in. So it's almost like a smaller little leaf there. And then starting from about here, so coming in a bit, I'm going to create another. And then coming in again, create another. You see it starts to curve a little bit there. So coming round, and as I'm working my way towards that vein, it's curving a little bit. And then along and down. And then I've got one last one. You see that's sort of coming in, so I'm going to aim. There you go. So it joins in together there. Okay. Oh no, it just looks lovely, doesn't it? So this time I'm going to come from this end. Now I want to sort of line, I do want to line up a bit. So I'm going to sort of change the shape at the top a bit. You see that's where the pencil was, and that's where my pen is. I've moved it along a little bit. Oh, hi there everybody. It's nice to, if you, names coming in there, Maureen and Richard. And again, you see this one, look, I've got to go out a bit to make it work there. That's fine. And then again. And then another one. Now if they don't join in the middle, it doesn't matter. It's just a design, it doesn't have to. Okay, now you see here I've got a decision to make. I can either do another little one, or I can leave it as that. And I think I'm going to leave it as that. So let's just get rid of that line. Okay, in fact we don't want any of those lines now, so get rid of them as I'm going. You can leave it till afterwards. I just think sometimes it's nice for you to see how it's going to look as it goes. Okay, so that's that starting point. Oh, Leslie. Leslie's still at home unpacking. Oh, thank you, Sue, for watching yesterday. It was a nice one. It's nice to do something a little bit different. I love doing tiles, and that's what we do on here, I know. But doing that little bookmark yesterday was nice to do. So you see I'm doing the same thing on this one again. I've got this line, so I'm going to work that one in there. And then along here. Again, I'm going to stick with that shape and join it there. And then back along and along. And just sort of continue. There you go. That one's going to go down into there. So we've got that kind of thing. There you go. Just sort of in. There we go. So, okay, we need a couple of little curls at the bottom here. I think that's most important, isn't it? So I'm going to come up and around, and let's just create a little bit of a thicker edge there. And then one the other way, and it's going to go sort of underneath that shape there. Okay, and a couple the other side. So I can have it coming out here, or let's have it coming out sort of this bottom edge. Same sort of thing there. And again, I'm going to fill in those, make them a little bit thicker. And then this one is going to completely, see, go underneath there. So we'll do the same on the other side. So a couple of curls. Of course, you might have to do them a bit smaller or a bit larger, depending on your shape and how much space you've got there. But I think that's the nice thing, isn't it? We've all started with a curve, and who knows where it's going to end up. There we go. So of course I can remove that pencil line now. Gives me the shape to work with. Okay, there you go. All right, so far so good. Okay, so I want to sort of focus on the top here, and the first thing is. Oh, I know, Richard, I do have to do grids sometimes. I do have people that like grids. But I know we do like our organic as well. So here we go. I'm going to come in with some swirls. There we go. And I'm going to fill the whole of this top section in. So, you know, you can start at the top or the bottom. You could do one complete massive curl if you wanted to. I'm going to go in with little ones, and then any little gaps we're just going to fill in as we go. There you go, see, little gap, fill it in. And this is nice to have a little bit of a hint of colour underneath, isn't it? Because you don't feel that you're working completely exposed on a blank piece of paper. It's already sort of got something on it to get you going. And round it goes. I'm going to do another one. Fill that bit in. And there we go. See, any little gaps, fill them in. So, just going to sort of make that one look as though it's got one going off the edge there. Okay. So, I'm going to do the same on this side. Sort of a partner in crime here. And again, you don't have to start at the base. You can start wherever you like. You can start in the middle if you want to. But I'm going to fill in any of those little gaps as I go. There we are. Again around that little dot there. And working my way around. There we go. Just sort of filling bits in. And keeping it going. All sort of swirls. It's nice to come back to these types of tangles because sometimes we get a little bit bogged down with technicalities and trying to do something a bit more complex. And honestly, it doesn't always need it. Nice to just do a few little swirls and bits and pieces. There we go. So I'm going to choose one of my shapes now. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to go with, let's have a look. I think this one here. And I'm going to create a set of curves. There we go. And then I'm looking for, I've got a brush now. I've got an 08 though. I'm going to fill in every other one with a heavier pen. Just to create these little stripes. Same in this one. Okay. And then I'm going to choose one on the other side. Let's have a look. I'm not going to go with the same one. I'm not looking for that. Maybe, I think this, yeah. going to go with this one. So again, see, I've got a bit of a curve there, so that's what I'm going to follow on this here, keeping it curved. And then again, it's going to come in and fill in those spaces. Makes a difference, doesn't it, when you fill them in? It starts giving it that little bit of texture and a little bit something different. Of course, you know that we're going to have possibly a white gel pen down the middle of that when we shade later. There we go. Okay. Let's have a look at, oh, there you go. So far, there we are. We've got this kind of thing. So I'm just going to put my 08 away. Back in with my 3. So I'm going to choose another. I'm going to go with this one. And I want to put triangles in there. So a bit of a zigzag going in. And then lines following that zigzagged line there. Same on this one. Just continuing it along the shape there. A little bit on that one. And then if I turn it round slightly, I'm going to add lines going this way. Okay, same with this one. And then of course I've got a little one there. Get those in. So I'm going to choose one on this side. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. See, it's already got that first zigzag bit there. So I can put that in. And it doesn't matter which way you start. So I'm going to go lines that way. A few on there. And then turn it round. And again, follow this line. Gives me that sort of similar angle. And in we go with those. And then same with that one. There we are. Okay, so we've got sort of matching pair-ish, but not quite. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm going to go now with 2 of them. So I'm going to use perhaps this one and this one, or you could use the crossways. And what I want to do is I'm going to create a line that continues. There we go. Let's go a little bit bigger there. Oh, if it wants me to. There you go. And then let's do a little aura of that line. And then I'm going to create a couple of random lines there. But each one, as you see, goes underneath the other when it comes to a line that we've already drawn. Okay, so same tangle that connects the 2 together with these little lines. So let's put one in here, look, under there. Now they can be different sizes, different lengths, different thicknesses. They don't have to be narrow. They can be curved or straight. There we go. Perhaps a few more down here. Let's see where that's headed. There we go. And then along there. Okay. So we're going to do the same with one on the other side. I think with this one I'm going to go sort of across. So let's put one in, going across here, look, and under there. So it shows that it works either way. And then along there. So you work randomly as best you can anyway with these little lines, all going in different directions. You're going to get more, I think, crossing if you go down. But this one, we can still get a couple in. And it's kind of nice to work across the 2. Gives it a little bit of interest there. And let's have one coming across. Do the whole thing there. There we are. Let's have a look at where we are at the minute. Doesn't want to zoom today. There you go. Okay, so we've got some little designs going in there. So let's bring in another one. I think it's quite a lot of sort of favourites today. So here we've got a perfect shape, haven't we, for our peas in a pod. So if I put a curved line this way and one on this side, I could then draw my bubble. And I'm going to actually keep them all separate today. Sometimes it's nice to have them sort of going underneath each other. I think on this occasion I'm going to go underneath and then fill in any of those little gaps. Okay, brilliant, that was perfect. So looks like this one is possibly the best one on this side as well. So let's put a curve here and here, and again bubbles, working my way down there and back up into this one. There you are. Okay, so that sort of covers that one. Got a few more. Now this one I absolutely love, and I know it's not everybody's favourite, but give it a chance. And I'm going to use the whole space here. Let's just go a bit bigger again. And I'm going to start with loops, almost like figure eights. So if I do it on the back, watch, a loop. And then it comes back on itself, and back, and back, you see? And depending on the size, depends on how big or how small you make it. So here we go. Where did I start? There you are, see? Tiny, tiny ones. I'm gonna go a little bit bigger maybe. There you go. See, tiny, tiny one. And then loop it round. And I'm gonna fill the space. So it's getting a little bit bigger now. Just as I work my way round. You see? And then it's gonna get a little bit smaller. There we go. And even smaller till there's no space left. And again, looking at the gaps around the edge, you can fill them in with a bit of ink there. You don't have to, but I think again, it's kind of nice. So I'm going to find one on the other side. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. Ooh, no, I'll go with this one. So again, see, start with that little loop, and it's going to fill the space. I do find it actually easier to go quicker, so if you've got a confident stroke rather than a sketch, I think that sometimes works a bit better. And you can get a bit tongue-tied with it if you're not careful, so you do have to focus on that one. Looks simple, but not so much. There you go, a little bit there. Okay, oh, look at this as well, I didn't even join my lines. There we are. So, a couple more on this one then. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put sort of a little loop in, because it's not much space, there's only this one, so I'm going to add a loop in there. And then another one in the middle, and just fill that one in there. So I've got something. And I'll do the same on one of these. Again, I'm going to use this bottom one. Little loop in there. And then let's come back in with another. I'm going to just fill it with ink. And because this one's a bit bigger, you could perhaps put a couple of dots in. Would I get it in there? Yeah, I'd get a couple in. There you go. So, I like that one. Sort of last one now. Now, is this a tangle or not? It's a design feature for sure. It's little dots. And I'm going to start real close in that bottom edge there. And sort of work my way out. And as I'm working my way out, they're not going to be as close together. It's almost like they're breaking free. Now you notice that my pen as well is really sort of high up. It's not on an angle at all, because I want dots wherever possible. Okay. See, I can go down here and go even darker. sort of build it up. So maybe you want to add a few in and then just go back and add a couple in as you go. And then I'm going to do the same sort of here on this one. So again, you might want to just sort of start by adding a few in and then concentrating it down here a bit more. It's always the thing, isn't it? You don't always quite get it. So it looks like it's sort of blowing away. So maybe you want to do it that way. Okay. You see how that just sort of makes it look heavier and darker down the bottom there. Oh, Joe, it was called Stamper's Roll. It's from a lady named Tony, and her company's Wild Spider Designs. Really nice, both the product and the lady. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I've got one more here. I don't have any more on this side, but I do have. Oh, I've got two more here. So your choices: you could do the same again. You could repeat one of the designs, or you could bring in another. It's entirely up to you. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a bit of an aura around that shape. Okay. And then if I make that a little bit thicker there we go. Sort of makes it look like it's a bit going through. Let's have a look at that. There you go. And I'm going to do the same on this one. So let's put that in again. Yeah, it does have quite a few bits and pieces on it, doesn't it? It's like a little sampler of all the different things. See here, I'm going to extend this to go under there, so it looks like it's going through. And then let's have a look. I've got one there, so I'm going to thicken it up on this side. So it's got one going through. Now you might find that you've got more of these or less. It really doesn't matter. It's all down to how you drew it in the first place, but that's fine. And it's nothing if it's not got some bubbles around the edge. Sort of a random amount. Keep them all sort of different sizes. Don't overdo it. You want a few. Okay, maybe sort of a few in the middle there as well. Okay. So let's bring in, I'm going to sort of bring in the pencil first. I am going to put a bit of colour on it. I know we've got a coloured splat, but you can never have too much. So I'm going to start though with my regular pencil. And first things first is I'm going to add some all the way sort of underneath this bit here. Now because I've got a splodge underneath it, some ink colour, it goes that way, there you go. It's going to have a little bit of a, an effort there. So I've not been too light with it. And again, same on here. Just sort of working it round. There you go. At the top there, I'm going to just create like that pointy shape. See on the end? And the same here, little pointy shape on the end there. And then a little bit down there and a bit around my ribbon. What kind of ribbon, isn't it? There you go. See underneath. Going across and then a little bit there as well. Okay. Oh, Bernadette, I think I amaze myself sometimes. But no, this is quite a nice one, isn't it? It's got a little bit of everything in there. Okay, what am I doing now? I'm getting carried away, that's what I'm doing. Or I should be. Coming in with little swirls. You see, just softening off that pencil. Even over the top of that ink. Still doing it, look. Just want to create that little bit of shade. Let's come on down. All the way along. Okay. Now, I might find it a little bit tougher to work over the top of the ink, but you might find that yours is fine. There you go, a bit of a blend in there. And of course, a little bit over here. And then just sort of around here. You see, just sort of softening it off. Same there. And then working on my other side. Again, little swirls. Just sort of softening that edge off there. And then of course I did have a little bit here on that ribbon. A little bit there. Okay, let's have a quick look at that one. Alright, so we've got that shading underneath there. So I think the next thing, I'm going to come in with my black pastel. This is one of the bronzier ones. Oh, thank you, Tommy. Cup of tea time.
Yes.
And I'm going to go up the middle, you know where that first vein is. Look how black that looks now. Let's do that on both sides. There you go. And same along here. Just want to bring that out. That's its centre point there. Okay. Nice. And then working on these sort of stripes, let's put some black down the sides of those, both sides. And same here, both sides. Okay. And do I want more black? I think I'm going to leave the black for now, but I'm not going to blend it. I'm going to bring in, I've got a bit of a magenta-y pinky colour. And what I want to do is I'm going to take, start with the top one here. I'm just going to add a little bit to the bottom there. Now I say a little bit, I'm going for it there. I'm adding plenty because I've got that ink underneath and I want it to stand out. And then here, and I know I've put that black on. You think, why did she put that on first? My decision. A little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom. Same sort of around here. Now remember that bit in the middle is hollow. So my little triangles, I'm going to add a little bit to each side. So I'm almost drawing back in that zigzag. And of course my little bubbles will go a little bit bigger. There you go. I'm going to add a little smirky smile on one side there. Okay. So coming round to the next side. Top and bottom again, same as that. There you go. This one, just going to add a little bit there. And a bit to the top. See, not as much to the top. Same with this one. So I'm sort of working my way down again past that, similar to that black bit there, but okay, just a little bit at the top. The same on the other side. So remember, we went in quite heavy there, and then my zigzags, I actually created another zigzag. These little bits, bit at the bottom. And just a bit at the top. Same on the next one. And then again, just sort of little bits on the bubbles if you can. And then this one, same sort of thing. Bottom and top there. Adding that in. Okay, let's have a look at that. Alright, looks a little bit of a mess at the minute, not to worry. Now I'm going to come in my tortillon. Now when you're using tortillons, if I was to use this one, like it's got graphite on it for my pastels, then my colour is going to get a little bit dirty and I don't really want that. So it's always handy to have the extra tortillon around, or if not, a file, just normal nail file. There you go, look, that you can actually file the end of your tortillon with. Just because you want a clean edge, you see? There we go. All right, quick sip of tea. So I'm going to work with the red bits first, and the idea is that we're going to very gently soften the chalk or the pastel there on both ends. I'm not going to touch that black yet, but I know it's there. And I'm not going to blow any of the dust away at all. We might need it. So I'm not going to really think about what's underneath. I'm not going to try and enhance the design. Apart from this one, I suppose it's got its little bits of shapes there. You see? And this is why we put quite a bit on, because it will fade a little bit as you're blending it down. But again, we want to try and leave that little bit of light in places as well. So just sort of go with it. And again, I'm ignoring the black for a minute. Okay. Joe, honestly, it's whatever inks work for you. This one that I've used, it's a Crafter's Companion, the water-based ones. But I have got the Tim Holtz Distress inks as well. They work nicely. The chalk-based ones, actually, the oxide to work with. And see what you think. There you go. You see, just sort of working it out. It's actually brought those shapes more to the front now, hasn't it? Whereas before that splat was a little bit domineering. Just adding this touch of colour. I'm not really colouring in. We're just sort of applying a little bit of shading in places. There we go. And I could have used a different colour pastel pencil, I suppose. I could have decided to go in with, I don't know, maybe a purple or something. I've done those bits, yeah. Okay. So I can actually come in, I can use my torch that had graphite on to do the black sections. But you can see why I didn't want to mix the two. Make it just a little bits down the edge there. Okay. And same sort of thing here. Okay. Just ever so gently touching it as you go. All right. So that's the starting point. I'm going to come back in with my 03 pen. It's nice, isn't it? And what I'm going to do is where we put the shade with the original pencil. 1 second. Oh, it doesn't want to. I'm having problems zooming today. And I'm going to come back in and put that line in. See, I'm not tracing the shape. I'm just going in where the outline or the outer shape is. Just down to there. And then I'm going to do the same on this one. So I'm working up through the middle and drawing these lines in. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to bring in my white gel pen. I know sometimes we use pencil, but in this case, because I've got pastels lying around now and things, I'm going to bring in a white gel pen. I always test it's going to work, because these things never always work first time, do they? You've got to get them going. And what I want to do is I'm going to add a white line down the middle there. Now you see I've gone across everything, and I don't want to make it too thick, just a line. And so if I do the same with this one, just sort of take your time going across everything. You see? Just gives it that extra little bit of something. And then where I've got my vein, you see where I've got those splodges? I'm going to come on in with my white pen, and I'm going to just sort of add a touch of white along there. You see, it just sort of makes it a little bit more. Come on, pen. There you go. Sometimes you've got to dot it a little bit to get it going. See, it's got that bit of a highlight. And again, I'm just going to bring it up here. Now, this is where the pen sort of does work a bit better than the chalk pencil. On this occasion, it gives you that extra bit you need there. Okay, let's have a look at that. And then, see, just sort of along this side here, I'm just going to take away that bit of a splodge there. I don't want to completely eradicate it. I'm just going to take it down a little bit. That's extend it down. This is because I'm working on a blush tile, not a white or a cream tile. So there we go. All right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you, Maureen. And Vicky, pastel pencils. I do use the Bronzeel pencils and pastels, but polychromos are quite nice as well by Faber-Castell, although they can be a little bit pricey. What I would suggest is you're probably better off buying a really decent set of 12 than a cheaper set of 24, because if you buy something and the quality's not quite there, what you usually find is it sort of fades really quickly and it blows away, and you're just wasting your money. So yeah, get a decent set that's got your basic 12 in and work from there. There we go. All right, I think it just needs a little bit more. You see where we've got this grey sort of shade? I'm going to come in with my black and just sort of touch around it. Now, pastels and a regular pencil like this doesn't necessarily work well together, so don't expect it to go on easily. It's just sort of adding a touch there. And then, of course, I can come back in. I just want to darken it a little bit, that's all. Just work it round. I think we just need to do something with those little bubbles. See, it just gives it a little bit more darkness there. And then those little bubbles I've got in there, just going to add a little highlighting places. You see, just, I'm going to dot it. It's one of those kind of pens, you know what it's like. See this one, I can still add there, although it's, you're not going to see it much. Still put your highlight, same on your little bubbles. And that one is just about, is it just about? Oh, I think I'm going to faff now. There we go. Just going to put a little bit coming out here, like just with my pen. Just to split them off. Same on this one. Just a little bit up there. You don't want to get too involved with that pastel pencil on there. You want to just avoid that if you can. But little lines will be fine because it clogs your pen up otherwise. Okay, what we haven't done, we didn't really sort of look at the ribbon, did we? So I think it definitely needs a little bit. So I'll stick with my pastel here. Just a little bit on either side. And a little bit on there. And then, of course, just making sure it's the one you've used that's got the colour on and not the black one. That's better. Just sort of helps that out a bit. Put a little bit there too. Okay, so there we go. Goodness me, look at that. It's lovely, isn't it? Now, which way to have it? I think that way. Signature. All right, so here we go. That is tile number 286, all done and sorted. So, okay, there we go. I will see you next week. Oh, have a good weekend, everybody. I'm sure Chris will put dates and times up. I know I'm next on Hobby Maker on the 25th. Is that Tuesday? If it is, I'll need to just check times. But we'll put it all on the page and let you know where I am and what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah, have a lovely weekend, everybody. Enjoy. And look forward to seeing what you're going to do with this. Take care, everybody. Bye.